What are we talking about today anyway? What's our thing?
We've got lots of questions today.
Have we?
Yeah,
We've actually got
we've
questions.
actually got questions.
I was a bit worried that I might have to make questions up for this.
No, but I haven't prepared you at all, so we've got
Oh,
quite a
that's fine.
lot.
Then they're proper questions.
Yeah,
Shall I tell you a big secret first to start it off on the topic of questions?
yeah.
So when I feel like I say this in every episode, although I don't, but I feel like I'm always going, when I was editor of Drummer magazine. But when I was, we used to have a questions page. And I think we only ever had about 3 questions in the 2.5 years that I was there. And I used to get people to make questions up for me to answer. Did I ever ask you for a question? I
You
might have done.
did. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I
Oh,
just sent them in because I was your friend. I was like,
so
help her out, help her out, help her out.
thanks. So I was a bit worried that we would have to do that, but you've got actual questions. That's great.
I have actual questions.
Oh, I feel a bit nervous now. All
The
right.
first one is, how do you actually organize your professional life after having kids? So, who takes care of the children when you're gigging or have a rehearsal? Do you want to take that and run with it?
I laugh at the notion of me having some sort of organization because at the moment I feel like I don't. But it's got a lot more 50-50 for me in the last half a year because my partner before, he's a sound engineer and he was always working evenings or weekends. Weekends. Did I just say that? I feel like I've just had a bit of a brain meltdown. He was always working weekends. And so I was basically the primary child carer. So yeah, it felt like that just automatically I was the one who would always do everything for the kids because my job can fit into the day. So I just have to really organize stuff, plan it well in advance, put it in all the calendars. And it's got easier because now he doesn't work evenings and weekends. So it's got, yeah, I feel like I've got a bit of my old life back again. But just planning and yeah, making sure that I'm really on it with everything. What about you? And making sure that I actually let go and leave it to him is a big thing that I've had to learn
Say that again, that last point, so they really feel it. Like, why is that important?
because it was something that I would then leave the house, especially when the children were younger, and I would still really have everything with me where my head would still be like at home with the kids. And now, especially as they are older, but also I feel like I can just let go a lot more. I've really focused on that the last few years that I'm just able to enjoy the time when I'm out and not think about it. Like they're having a great time with their dad or, they're in bed asleep. So it's fine. I can go and do my thing. What about you?
Similar to you, I think when the girls were younger, I would definitely need like a bigger head start and negotiation time to say, right, I want to do this thing. I really need help with it. So the time was booked off way in advance and we worked it all out, like who else is going to come over and help. And it's a big thing. Now, me and my husband share a calendar and we just put everything in there. And it's just, I check in. I believe that when I launched all of my camp dates, I went through the diary, put them all in. I'm sure I said to him, this is what I've got planned. And I think he said, you're alone, you should do less. Um, but it's been great. The only thing is, I have got a camp booked next month. It's only on Father's Day, isn't it? So I'm in a bit of trouble. But on the whole,
Didn't like
it's
give him a VIP space at the event and send the girls somewhere.
it's an advanced camp. I don't.
And it's women only. It's not
Yeah,
it's not allowed
not
anyway.
allowed. But yeah, on the whole, it's just about communicating and helping each other out. And obviously, I'm mindful of, yeah, don't do a drum camp every weekend. try not to do them every month. I have got two in a month at the end, some of that. On the whole, I've tried to space it out so it's fair and that we both have time. Okay, so this is a tricky one. What happens financially during maternity? Like, who is the breadwinner? I think this is trying to say if you can't go out and play gigs and your income in that way is stopped, how do you survive? Personally, for me, I actually had another job, a proper job at the time. And so luckily I did have maternity pay. However, for Indy, I didn't have a normal job and I was just teaching drums. And truthfully, I didn't have as much time off. I just had, I feel like it was 2 months, maybe three. It wasn't much. But then I also found out that I could apply for a maternity allowance from the government if you hit certain criteria, which I didn't know about. So if you are from the UK, check that out because that was super helpful. I think I claimed it back after the fact or something, which is really cool. What about you?
This topic is something that we have talked a little bit about privately, and we are looking into getting someone in to properly answer these kind of questions, aren't we? Like, we've got a few people that we've got in mind to contact and ask kind of officially about advice for this. So, for my first pregnancy, I lost my job because the magazine got bought and closed down. During my pregnancy, like 5 months before my daughter was born. So luckily, I had saved a lot anyway previous to that. And then my partner, he covered the rent and everything. And then when my daughter was like 4 months old, I got a job, like a very part-time job. So I was able to then, from there, start earning again. With my second, I was like you, I had very little time off. And I kind of went back to work as soon as I could, which for me, I was really lucky in that I started working again. And 1 week later, we went into lockdown. So then I was in furlough anyway. So it kind of turned out to be a bit like maternity leave, but officially I was employed. So I was just exceptionally lucky. Yeah, as far as like a performer would go with that, it's something that I really want to look into for future episodes because I have no clue about that. Like you've got more of an idea with what you were just mentioning, and I'm sure there must be help out there for people who are listening. So that's something that I definitely want to come back to.
And I think, unfortunately, if that's your main area of income, live performance, and if having a family is something that you want to do, it might just be, and this sounds so obvious, but maybe thinking of some other ways that you can do it, that you don't have to be there, like earn some money on the side, whatever that is, like online lessons, things like that, that can wrap around what your childcare looks like, and then gradually get back to gigging when you feel ready. I think it's important not to rush out there, but I do understand the fear of losing work and stuff like that. So basically, society needs to change a little bit and help us, but try and think and be as prepared as you can. So then you've got more options.
Yeah, definitely. And for different scenarios as well, because you might think, okay, well, I'll do that. I'll have the baby and then I'll go straight out and I'll get back to that. But you never know how it's going to be. You just, I mean, we all hope for that, but you never know how it's going to be at all. You might not feel like you want to do that whatsoever. And just have to, yeah, like you say, diversify, think of as many different things and have lots of plans in place for what you could do for different scenarios, I guess.
And I think for mental health wise, be okay with not performing for a little bit and know that you're still enough and you're still great and you're still a musician. You've got a very important job at the minute and there'll be time, it will come back.
Yeah.
It's not going to be gone. Okay, so this one relates to what we just said about maybe being worried about not being able to get back out gigging and stuff. And so they're asking for advice how to get back out there if you've had a long break. What would you suggest?
I would suggest playing with people that are lovely and that will support you and help you and that you feel safe and confident with. And I mean, there are so many things and it's so different for everyone. You just can't tell how it's going to be. And you're also going to have a little baby who will be unpredictable. You can plan as much as you like, but you still don't know exactly how it's going to work out. And just be really gentle with yourself as much as possible. I don't know about you, but I had a long time like just after having my baby. And when I look back now, it's ridiculous because actually, I think as well after having a first baby, you get back into shape pretty quickly. I find like there was with breastfeeding and everything. And when I think about the time, I felt awful. I felt horrible. I felt really tired. I felt just like I was sort of permanently covered in stuff from the baby. And now when I look back at photos, I think, oh, wow, I looked great then. Like different to my second pregnancy and different to how I feel now. And you just don't necessarily feel like yourself. So you also can't predict how that's going to be. And you just need to be aware that you might not feel great, but, you know, do whatever you need to do to feel good and comfortable. And yeah, I guess I mean, if you're a performer, then that's probably a very important part of your life, and you might really feel like that's missing for a while if you can't do it straight away, like you said. But just wait until the time is right because it will come back if it's meant to. And yeah, I don't know how do you feel about that? How was it for you after your pregnancies?
Well, I definitely feel like I didn't get back into shape quick. But I don't know if I ever have. Um, and it felt like I'd been in a car crash, not to scare anyone. Like after Quinn, it was just like, whoa, can I even walk? You know, it was really took me a long time to just, you know, go for a walk. So yeah, being gentle with yourself for sure. So don't rush it, even though it may feel like quick, quick, quick. I'm gonna lose the chance to work again. I feel like that is something that you have created. No one else is saying that. No one. Everyone else is like, oh, they had a baby. Great. Cool. No one else is in a rush, just you. And I think that is something that we need to remind ourselves. It is fake pressure. And you just need to wait until you feel ready, you feel strong, you've got some support there for you. And then I just think it's a matter of being confident and being brave and saying, I'm ready. So asking people and not being afraid, and maybe starting with people who you know who are lovely so it doesn't feel as intimidating. But then when you do feel like you can, post about it. Say, I'm ready. Let's go. Put a video of yourself playing. You just need to be okay with putting yourself out there, and people will be like, great. They won't see it as, oh no, she's had a baby, we can't possibly hire her. It'll be like, oh, awesome, they want a gig. Let's give them a ring. So, you got this. Right, next question. Skinny George on Instagram. I see you. He wrote us quite a few questions.
Thanks, that's great. I'm glad.
And the other lady, Raluca, I think that's their name. Lovely. Thank you for those. Skinny George, such a dude. The transition after having a baby is hard. How did you motivate yourself to drum again?
Am I starting with this one?
Yeah.
Oh, it took me a really long time. It took me about 6 years after my first. I honestly didn't feel motivated, as you can tell by the long time that took at all. I was just completely overwhelmed with everything new about motherhood and working, and then I had just a bit of a kind of confidence crisis where I felt like I didn't even know where to start back with drumming again. And then that took me a really long time to sort of get over that and just to find time to actually play and to be okay with making the time. This is a
Mm.
theme with me. Like, just, yeah, allowing myself to do something for me without it having anything to do with my children or my partner, and not feeling guilty about taking that time. And that has taken me years to learn. And now that my children are 8 and 5, I feel like I'm finally getting the hang of it, but only just. Yeah, I also felt like I needed to play again at that point. And then I've just made sure that I slowly carved more and more time into my week that would allow me to do that.
I'm so proud of you. I feel a
Thank
bit
you.
teary.
Oh,
It's really
don't be
great.
teary. I'll get teary.
Seriously, it's great. Well done.
Thank you. What about you, though?
Well, when I had Quinn, I was living with my mother and father-in-law, which was very, very cool. And it also intense. So there wasn't much alone time, except for when I was asleep, which wasn't much because you got a newborn. So hilarious. So I think I possibly had a bit more motivation to play than perhaps you did, but it was very different circumstances. And so this was the time where I quite quickly, I don't know how long it was, maybe a couple of months, I used to just go to a rehearsal room. It was either every Sunday or every other Sunday and just play. Um, I had a lot of didn't want to miss out or wanted to keep up though vibes, which looking back now, I feel sorry for myself then because I just think I was putting on pressure to keep like drumming and improving while I had a newborn, and shouldn't have really bothered about that really. But I was thankful for the break and just to go and do something that no one was crying at me for, you know? So that was my motivation, I guess. Just a bit of me time. Next question. What has helped you stay present with your family when creating takes so much time? This one has been a challenge, and not so much with actual drumming time. I found it very difficult to find enough time to practice, but I've found a lot of my time lately is business stuff, which is obviously related to drumming. So creating events, dealing with emails, which is a lot like messages, content, all of that stuff. Because I'm my own business, there's no one else. I find like I have a real problem switching off. So I'll go to bed frequently and I'll just have to write stuff down or email myself all of these things to remember. So I found it so difficult, but I just try and get better than the day before and just put my phone away, like physically put it in another place so I'm not on it. Or if I have to answer something, I'll just say, I'm really sorry, I've got to answer this quickly. And then try and make the weekend no work time, unless I have an event going on, and just try and be with the kids and not do any work. It's easier said than done. It's so hard. I feel like it's a roller coaster. So it is a thing I'm trying to get better at currently.
I find that the way I'm creative has changed and I'm happy with it. So when I wasn't playing at all in all those years, I felt like I had zero creativity and I found it really frustrating. But now when I look back on it, I was being creative. I was just doing very different things. So I was doing stuff based around my children and, like not just art and crafts, but I would make lots of stuff for them and with them. And I took up the ukulele in the pandemic and stuff, and would learn songs and the last couple of years, so I started having lessons again, and that for me has been great because I have that set time where I am creative, and I feel like that's totally there's nothing else that can get in the way of it because I have to book it and I have to make that time. So that's how it is. And then in the last 3 months, I found a new way of being creative, of making videos. And I'm really enjoying that because it's not much that I need to practice, which is good because I don't have time to practice a lot. But there's so much more to it, like listening to music and creating charts and then creating artwork to go with the videos and editing the videos. And that for me is really, that's sort of fulfilling everything that I felt was missing about being creative. So it's changed and I'm happy with it, and it might change again. And I was thinking, oh, I'm actually not, again, I'm not really doing much drumming. It's still based on drumming, but I'm not actually playing that much. But at the moment, that's okay. It fits. And I think, again, it's that thing of like being happy with where you are at this point, because if you're someone creative, then you might have ups and downs of the time that you can actually be creative. But it doesn't mean that if you're not doing that at the moment, that you won't have that again. It just, everything will change, and that's okay. And I'm trying to really focus on like the time that I have with my children, really focus it on being with them. And even if it's just for an hour or something, that I'm not on my phone. I am very conscious of that, and just spending a little bit of time doing something just with them, because that to them feels like loads of time, even though it's actually not. I feel like the years are going by so fast, and I need to sort of make the most of the time that I have, like every day. So that made me feel a bit emotional.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if this applies to us because of what we just said, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
What's your go to habit to getting yourself motivated to practice?
Um, I think about the stuff that I need to do, that I need to practice for. And I think at the moment I just watch videos of certain people, and I think like, yeah, that's, yeah, like they practice, I need to practice, but not in the way that I used to. I used to really compare myself to people. And now I just think, if I put a little bit more time into something, then I could be a bit more like that person, but not comparing myself, just allowing myself to do that.
I feel like I'm similar. Like, yeah, I just need to go on Instagram and click on my favorite drummers, and then I'll want to go and practice. But honestly, at the moment, it is just a bit different. It's a different season, and so I'm practicing because I must, because I have a thing that I have to do, or I have to teach this lesson on this song, so I have to learn it myself. But I know that season will change, and I think down the road I see myself getting a teacher again and devoting more time, but just when it fits. How do you deal with trolls on the internet who are trying to get you down?
This one is, I'm not meaning you're the expert and that you have loads of trolls, but this is something that we have talked about that you have really good advice on. So
Oh
you should
no,
definitely answer this one.
I don't know what I said. Uh, I just try and remember that I don't value their feedback. Brad A. Brown, thank you very much for that golden nugget. But yeah, it took a long time to realise that you shouldn't listen to everyone because they don't matter. And what really truly matters is what you think and what you feel and what your nearest and dearest think. And at first, you might question what I'm saying and say, yeah, but you don't know, or I do care how I look. Um, and of course, we always remember the negative comments. We always pick out the negative, and we don't see all the amazing, that was really good comments. But it will be better in the long run for your mental health and your well-being if you just decide, make that decision, and say, no, I don't really care what they think because I don't know who they are and they're just a waste of space. So go fuck yourself.
You had to swear, didn't you? You
I
had to
did.
put a swear word in. I'm spitting everywhere. So I would just like to add to that and say also you can think about the positives, try and switch off from the trolls and focus on um how many likes you get for something or how many comments. Like if you imagine that that is not the internet, that that is real life, say that in real life you even get 5 people in a day saying hi to you or saying you look great or this is great or oh lovely to see you. Imagine if you had all those people in one day doing that to you in person, how great that would be. It could, I'm saying 5, it could be 200, it could be 2,000. And that is amazing that people have taken a little bit of time to show that they find something great. So that's worth a lot more than some idiot sitting on their own writing something horrible.
Exactly. I love that when you actually think about it in terms of real people in one room. It's lovely. If you could go back, what would you tell your younger self?
You want to go first?
Okay. It is safe for you to do what you want to do, and it is safe for you to take up space. I think I'd say that. And I love you.
Oh, don't make me cry. You're gonna make me cry. I find it really emotional talking about my about my younger self. Um, I don't know, actually. I think I would tell myself there are a few auditions I would tell myself that I should have definitely done and not I'm not like worried so much about my job. Um, I think I would say it's all right to make mistakes, and actually, no one is as hard on me as I am, and that actually I could just have chilled out a lot more and not worried so much, and just like really enjoying every moment.
Young Gemma would be so proud of you now,
Oh
Biff.
no, I'm gonna start crying. It's like it's like doing a therapy session.
I'll send you the bill later.
Oh my goodness.
There's this side quest, as they say.
Yeah.
I was listening to this really cool woman, businesswoman, Jamie C. And there's this exercise where you're with your 8-year-old self,
Mm.
but then you're also with your 80-year-old self.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
what do you say
cool.
to each?
Oh my goodness.
And the 80-year-old is just like, yeah, you do. Come on. It's like cheering you on, but super
Oh.
powerful. Okay, drumming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one piece of gear you can't live without?
Practice pad. Oh, that is younger me would think I'm such a loser. Younger me would be like, yeah, this symbol and blah, 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 blah. But actually, it's just all the stuff I have time for at the moment can be done on a practice pad, and the rest is absolutely no good to me at the moment because it's too loud, it takes up too much space, and everyone else would try and play it. So sticks and a pad.
Same. Reflex. Thank you very much.
Same.
Take you everywhere. Let's tag them in this episode. They don't mess around. What's the next piece of gear you plan on adding to your kit?
I would love to add more gear to my kit, but at the moment, it's like I said, absolutely not where I am. The stuff that I have just bought, which I haven't used yet, is a tiny, tiny microphone to use for making videos. It's a little can't even remember what it's called. Cuboid, Go Docs Cuboid. It's a little like a little button mic.
Oh, sweet.
I'm excited about it. It's tiny. What about you?
Well, now you've said about microphones, I have really wanted to have a go at the Yamaha EAD 10, is it?
Okay.
For a long time because I think that would be cool because it's so boring doing the whole microphone, audio interface, garage band. And he said garage band,
Garage
garage
band.
band. It's like slow death every time because it just sucks my time.
Yeah.
So it's not meant for me right now. So that really appeals to me. But like in a few years, what I've always wanted is another floor tom.
Oh.
Defo. Yeah.
I would like to get some stack cymbal stuff going on.
Yes.
But
they're so fun.
I just haven't. Well, I don't need them at the moment, so yeah. But that would be nice. I feel like my cymbal setup is from like 20 years ago.
Need.
And,
sorry, I just need to cut in. Need. I a few years ago, I bought a cymbal with an alien on it. Did I need it?
I remember.
No. I wanted it. So maybe give yourself the gift,
Yeah.
Just for your birthday.
All right. I'll think about it.
That is it. We have no more questions.
That was a lot of questions, though.
Yeah. We had one more about mental health, but I feel like we're going to do a separate episode on that with a guest.
I've got a little question for you. Right. If you could go back and if you could study something in addition or differently, what would it be if it was drumming or anything?
Oh my God, I don't know what you're going to think of me. Like finance or business?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Because I feel I'm so clueless. Like, yeah,
I'm not
feel
nodding in agreement.
Okay.
No. I mean, no, I get what you mean. No, not at all.
But no, yeah, so as you know, I like a lot of I sound like such a dick, but like businessy podcasts and stuff. I only know now like what they're talking about when they say funnel. Not in the kitchen variety, just in a business type. And there's just so many things that have taken me a long time to get my head around. So I probably would have done that. What about you?
I really wish that I'd studied music production alongside what I was doing back when we were at ACM doing drums. I think that I didn't have much confidence in myself with kind of more technical stuff. And I think that would have really helped because I'm feeling like now I'm capable of learning everything, but I just wish that I'd had that a bit earlier on. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for sending in your questions. If you liked this episode, send us some more.
Yeah.
Or let us know what you want to hear about, and we will happily, well, within reason, we'll go there. Thank you so much for listening. As always, we really and truly appreciate it. If you like this episode, please do feel free to leave us a positive review as it will help other people find us too. Until next time, take care.